so happy we alive.
Good evening, and welcome to Louisville Late Night. This evening we're in beautiful San Francisco, California.
In Jamaica by Greenwood and McCaw, involving 9,919 singleton births, found no correlation between maternal cannabis use and rates of perinatal mortality or morbidity. The Ottawa Prenatal Prospective Study is a longitudinal study of the offspring of 700 middle-class healthy women residing in Ottawa, Ontario, published by Freed et al. In 1992. Although the authors noted some mild developmental differences at age 4, these were no longer evident for some reason at age 5 and 6, and the authors concluded that the long-term consequences of prenatal exposure to cannabis, if they exist at all, were very subtle. We feel that our study design has a number of strengths. By using an anonymous survey, we eliminated a potential non-response bias amongst persons not wishing to disclose their use of cannabis. Furthermore, by sampling from the compassion clubs, we were able to gather information from a relatively large number of medicinal cannabis users and to capture data from a population with high cannabis use rates in pregnancy, which in this case was about 65% of our respondents. This rate illustrates the uniqueness of compassion clubs as study sites and the effectiveness of this purposeful sampling technique. Of course, there were also some limitations to the protocol design. Our study wasn't randomized, and so we can't assume that self-selection of cannabis use didn't alter our findings in favor of efficacy. In addition, by sampling exclusively through compassion societies, we reached a population that was already biased in favor of therapeutic cannabis use. However, with the exception of a case study by Curry in 2002, to our knowledge, this is the very first major survey of the therapeutic use of cannabis to relieve nausea and vomiting in pregnancy to date. In conclusion, we found that the vast majority of our respondents reported cannabis to be effective or very effective in relieving nausea, vomiting, and in stimulating appetite. 93% of people surveyed found it to be effective or very effective in relieving nausea. 75% found it to be effective or very effective in relieving vomiting, and 95% found it to be an effective or very effective appetite stimulant. Of the participants who reported use during pregnancy, 92% found it to be effective or very effective in relieving the nausea and vomiting resulting from morning sickness. We feel that these results are extremely significant, and they suggest that further research into the safety and efficacy of cannabis in the treatment of severe nausea and vomiting in pregnancy is warranted. This study was published in early 2006 in the Journal of Complementary Therapies and Clinical Practice, and you can find the complete text and results online at the VIX website, which is www.thevics.com. With so much fascinating Compassion Club-based research on the horizon, I believe that medical cannabis dispensaries are just starting to prove their worth as research centers, and that the move from simple distribution to scientific contribution will significantly add to the legitimacy of these indispensable organizations in the eyes of both the public and of our respective federal governments. And I'd also add that it adds a lot to the legitimacy in the eyes of the courts as well. In closing, I'd like to share with you guys a very special audio-visual presentation titled Faces of Compassion. It's a 4-minute photomorphing project by an artist named Stephanie Tenas that illustrates the remarkable diversity of the members and the staff of the Vancouver Island Compassion Society, who, although different and individual in so many aspects, share a common bond through the use of medicinal cannabis and the services of the VIX. So without further ado, I'm really pleased to present to you guys Faces of Compassion. Please sit back and take a breath and enjoy. Yes. very much. What we wanted to show there with that project is not only the diversity of medical cannabis users, but the common humanity in all those people as well. And there's a few people in that video who are some of the bravest that I've ever known who passed away in the last year since we've made this video. It always brings their memory to the forefront whenever I see it, so I'm glad that you guys were able to enjoy it. Ultimately, these faces are the reason that the work that we do is so vital. And if you'd like to view the Faces of Compassion video from the comfort of your own home or the substance of your own choice, it's available in many different formats at the VIX website, which once again is at www.thevix.com. I'd like to finish by asking you guys if you have any questions. We've just got to change the video setup right now, and so I thought we might ask David or ask if there's any questions for David, for Frank, or for myself before we move on to Tom O'Connell's presentation.
In line with your studies, have you any information or anybody on the panel about any problems while breastfeeding?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I'm going to start out by trusting this, although I'm sure that these two could as well. There's been some research that's been done by Esther Fried, which suggests that, I mean, it doesn't suggest, it clearly proves that when you take pups, mice pups, and shut down their endocannabinoid system, which is their internal cannabinoid system, they actually won't be able to do what's called nipple locking. They can't feed and survive, and the mice pups actually die. And so